Geeks Assemble! What's up, everybody? It's Casey from the Geeks with Wives here, and it's time for another Ladies of the Roundtable Comics Corner for the week of January 8th. I got 5 comics this week, a pretty good stack, so we're going to go through them pretty quickly. Once again, if you have any questions or about any of these, you can hit me up on Twitter at GWWCapesCrew. All right, so the first one is Letter 44 from Oni Press, written by Charles Scholl, with art by Albert Jimenez Albuquerque. This book is really, really, really great. If you're into sci-fi and political thrillers, this book is right up your alley. It's perfect for you. Basically, I'll give you the quick rundown. A new president has come in, an Obama-type president, and a George Bush president has just left. But before he left, he left a letter for the new president. And in the letter, he states, hey, the reason I've been such a dick and the reason I've been moving money out of the economy and putting it towards all the military and all this R&D research and making the public unhappy is because a couple of years ago we found a ship or a space station or something alien out in space just beyond Jupiter. We know it's out there, and we know it's targeting us, and we had to be prepared. So this is why I did all this stuff, and now I'm passing it on to you. And just so you know, a couple of days ago, we also just sent a ship called the Clark out with a research team of scientists and military to check out this ship and see what's up. So we're now on issue 3. In issue 1 and 2, it's basically just the setup. So you're just learning about the letter, you're learning about a little bit about the Clark, and then this new president's kind of policies and how he feels about the whole situation. So in issue 3, the thriller part really starts to unfold. So we get a couple scenes on the Clark where basically the ship is run down, breaking constantly. The crew is not hopeful at all that they're going to return home, but they finally get a message out, or they think they get a message out to the alien ship, and they receive one back. They just don't know what it is. It's basically just like a laser message. So they've finally established communication. They have no idea what it is or what's out there yet. But the bigger situation on Earth is happening with the president and his chief of staff, and they're finally deciding, hey, maybe we need to tell the public about this. Maybe we need to get out in front. I don't want to be part of that old regimen, the old campaign. I want to be the new campaign. I don't want to lie to the public. So this is where the political thriller aspect comes in, because there are a lot of people that do not want the public to know that the Clark's out there and that there's this alien ship or life form that they're trying to communicate with and study. So there's this huge back and forth between the military brass and the chief of staff and president, and it ends in the last couple pages ends in a great scene that kind of sets up the whole political thriller aspect of this book. So once again, if you're really into a sci-fi and political thriller stuff, I highly recommend Letter 44. A great book. Also out this week is RoboCop Last Stand, written by Frank Miller, with art by Stephen Grant. It's on issue 6, so if you're a RoboCop fan, I recommend probably going out and trying to find issues 1 through 5 and getting this one out this week. Or if you want to wait a couple months, the trade will be out soon enough with all 8 issues collected. So when I started reading this book, I'm a huge RoboCop fan, so I love the movies and everything. So I started reading this book. I immediately thought I would enjoy it, but I didn't. I really found the art to be off-putting. It's really gritty, really grungy. No one is attractive. None of the characters are easy to look at. And the backgrounds are all really, really gritty. Like, you feel kind of dirty after reading it. But by issue probably 2 or 3, I was just so into the story, and the art really, really just kind of fits the story, because it's the rise and fall of RoboCop and the rise of Omnicorps, kind of destroying the city, taking out the police, and now Omnicorps kind of runs everything, and RoboCop's our last hope for humanity. So in this issue, RoboCop's been beaten. He's been taken over by Omnicorp, dismantled, but a figure from his past comes into play, and she kind of helps RoboCop get rebuilt, upgraded, and now he's going to take the fight back to Omnicorp. So it's really a great issue. It's really action-packed. We get to see a lot of great scenes in Omnicorp. There's a nice twist in here with the returning character, and a kind of a glimpse of what's to come. There's so much violence and so much gore in this book. It's really, really adult. So if you're looking for something just for you to read, nothing for the kids, I really recommend picking up RoboCop Last Stand. Also out this week, and I think will be a fan favorite of the Ladies of the Round Table, is All New X Factor #1, written by Peter David with art by Carmine Di Giamonico. So in this book, or an X. Let me give you a little X Factor history. Basically, X Factor is the X-Men, but they're owned by the government or another entity. Like they're not self-published, if you will. They're owned by somebody, so they're kind of like a team of mercenaries. But in this version, they are owned by a new corporation called Serval, and Serval kind of describes themselves as the Google of the Marvel Universe. They're essentially good people that are doing good things and want to help everybody. So they decide that they want to put together a mutant team to kind of fight the threats of the world and kind of save humanity on its own terms. So in this issue, we start to see the team get built, and this issue really centers around Gambit, who is a former member of the X-Men. We all know him and love him as the guy from the South with the cool accent and the part of the Thieves Guild and all that stuff. And his power is to kind of charge items and cause them to explode. So he likes to use playing cards and charge those and throw them up so they explode at people. So in this book, we get a lot of, it's mostly about Gambit and his introduction to the team and him joining the team. We also get Quicksilver, who joins the team as well in this book in the last couple of pages, and we get them see them on their first mission. So we see Polaris, who's already on the team, Gambit, and Quicksilver in their first mission, and how they work together and how this all is going to work out. Now, because they're a part of a corporation, Gambit is kind of weary of what Serval's true intentions are, and we all know Marvel and how they work, so I'm sure they're not all good, and that'll play out as the arc plays out. But once again, I really enjoyed this book. I really love the art. I would describe it as cyber chic, I guess. The costumes are really cool. The art is perfect for the characters, I think. Gambit looks really great. We get a nice little cameo from Wolverine at the beginning. So really good book, really fun. I really think the ladies of the round table will enjoy it, especially because our guy Gambit here is the star. All right. So also out this week will be another ladies of the round table favorite, Black Widow #1. So normally when I pick up comic books, I am a superhero guy. I love the capes, I love the costumes, I love the powers. So I'm not really into the ground level heroes like Black Widow and Hawkeye. But both of those books are both. Hawkeye is fantastic. It's probably the best book out right now. And this may be #2 now. Black Widow #1 features a great noir style. It's written by Nathan Edmondson with art by Phil Noto. It features a great gritty art style, very noir, very spy noir, very fitting to the character and the story. Basically, this is Black Widow's kind of solo adventures as an assassin. She's kind of trying to atone for the bad things that she did as a young child, as a young girl, trying to build up her assassin-like cred, I guess. So now she's trying to go after the bad people, only bad people that she handpicks and vets, so she knows that they're bad, and then she goes after them instead of going after just whoever she's hired to go after. So she's very still much a part of the Avengers, but these are just kind of her solo adventures. Like I said, the art is really what got me on this book. The layouts are great. It's a lot of action. It's very much a one-shot story. So you'll get an idea of how the story, the rest of the stories will play out. But if you just want to pick up the one issue and figure out if you like it, you'll get a whole issue and you'll get a full story, and you'll see just kind of how this book will play out in the future. We also get a cool scene. It's really nice to see that she has kind of a home life, and we get a nice little cute scene with her cat here at the very end. It's very fitting, and like I said, it's very cute, and I really love the book. She's a very strong character. She doesn't need a man or anybody to help her or be by her side, and I really appreciate that. And once again, the art is just fantastic in this book. All right, so finally out this week, and what is my recommendation for a must-have for anybody getting a book this week, or anyone into comic books or Batman, is Detective Comics #27, mega-size issue, 100 pages, 6 Batman stories, all with different artists and writers. Let me just go down the list. So we have artists that include Frank Miller, art by Brian Hitch, Neil Adams, Ian Bertman, Francisco Franvella, Guillermo Mark, Jason Fabok, and Sean Murphy. And then we have stories by Brad Moltzer, Greg Huartz, Peter Tomasi, another story by Francisco Franvella, written by story by Mike Barr, John Layman, and of course Scott Snyder. So that's 7 stories you're getting in one book. All the stories are fantastic. I did not have a story that I did not like. They're all also very different. So the first story is the case of the chemical syndicate. That's very much a year one story for Batman. The next is an old school story, which is kind of like a Batman 66 storyline, or one of his, or Batman's first comic books from the 30s. We also have a story of where Batman's 75 and he's an old man with really, really great art. So a bunch of different stuff here. My favorite story was probably Francisco Franvella's, which is only it's only 2 or 3 pages, and it's Batman saving a family from a wrecked car. But it's really good. The art is fantastic. In this book, I can't say enough. This is really just a must-have for any Batman fan, for anybody that's a fan of DC Comics or the franchise. It celebrates the 75th anniversary of Batman. So this is a must-have for you. You have to go out and get this book. It's huge. It's $8, so it's a little more pricey than your normal comic book. Like I said, you're getting 6 stories, all of them fantastic. My favorite by far is probably the Scott Snyder story, which basically tells the story of clone Batman. So every year, Batman decided that he has to do this. He has to do this forever. So he creates a clone of himself that lives for 25 years, and then after 25 years, the old Batman creates a new clone, and so on and so on and so on. So in this issue, we're up to like Batman 2000 or something crazy like that. So we get to see a whole history of Batman through the ages, and there's a mech Batman, and there's a Transformer Batman, and a Ninja Batman, and a Mad Max Batman. Even kind of a Batman that looks like Hobgoblin. So it's really, really fun. He just kind of threw in an entire century of Batman history in a couple pages in Scott Snyder's story. So once again, I can't stress this enough. If you guys are a Batman fan, if you like DC Comics, if you're a comics fan in general, you got to get Detective Comics 27, mega-sized issue, 7 stories from the likes of Scott Snyder, Greg Hurwitz, Peter Tomasi, Francisco Franvella. It's just the names go on, the list goes on, the art goes on and on and on. It's such a good book. You got to pick it up. So that's it. That's all I have for you guys this week. Once again, you guys can catch me every week on my podcast, The Geeks with Wives and Capes. And make sure you're checking out our website, www.geekswithwives.com. And make sure you guys check out the Ladies of the Round Table every week on their podcast. And that's it for me this week. So I hope to catch you guys next week on the Comics Corner, and you can catch me on the geek side.